Should be playing some Mardi Gras music.
Oh, there you go.
Everywhere else, they don't even know it's Mardi Gras. Down here, everyone's losing their minds. It's Carnival. That's in Brazil.
There was a little bit of a culture adjustment for me.
Yeah.
What is this?
What is a king cake? What?
Yeah, king cake.
It's delicious. That's what it is.
It is delicious.
I love king cakes.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right. So we are live.
So, allegedly, we're live. I'm going to be watching this on the Facebooks and on the YouTubes, maybe, because I'm all by myself. All right. So, live both places, Michael?
Yes.
All right. Let's do this. Welcome in, Gun Talk Nation. Thanks for watching Gun Talk Live on a Wednesday this week. So we have a few things to talk about, and I'll kick it off with the first thing is winning free stuff. Who doesn't like winning free stuff, right? So we do have a giveaway going on right now with Brownells. And Brownells, you know them, they have like 50,000 SKUs of products. But they've started doing their own guns and some other things, and they started off with this retro line of guns. So we're giving away the XBRN 177E2 carbine, which is kind of a mouthful, but here's the explanation on it. It's kind of neat. They're doing these recreations of historic firearms, and they started off with the AR-15 line. So kind of they have the original Eugene Stoner AR and some other ones. This one is a carbine from Vietnam era. So it actually has a shorter barrel. I don't know if we have it in here, but yeah, 12.7 inch barrel. But it has a pinned welded muzzle device at the front, so it meets ATF regulations, so it's not a short barrel rifle. But it's true to the design of back then, but it's with new parts and you know, new accessories and all that stuff. And they kind of work with some of those partners of the other accessory stuff they sell to develop these guns. But they make them as true as they can. So it's the Brownells giveaway, classic carbine giveaway. You can sign up to win at guntalk.com/win, guntalk.com/win, and sign up there. So you may be winning a rifle at the end of this month or whenever it is. It's a couple weeks from now. Now, we have other stuff to talk about as well. And, you know, before I get to that, this is live. So if you'd like to chime in, please chime in. If you missed it, just for what it's worth, this isn't on the list of things for me to talk about. But if you missed Tom Gresham's interview with Benchmade on Gun Talk Radio this week, you really need to tune in. Go to guntalk.libsyn. Is that what it is, Michael? Guntalk.com/libsyn. Just go to guntalk.com. Click on Gun Talk Radio. You can listen to the podcast, or check our social media. But you really need to tune in to hear what they had to say and what Tom had to say to them. It was fairly riveting. We've got a lot of emails from people about that one. Now we want to talk about gun safety. Gun safety, always a good thing to remind ourselves about, right? 4 rules of gun safety. All guns are always loaded, or at least we treat them that way. Don't point the gun at anything you're not willing to destroy, including yourself, your TV, your kids, your dog. Know your target and what's behind it, and keep your finger off the trigger until you are ready to shoot. Those are the 4 rules. Those are the only 4 rules, the main 4 rules, I should say. And should keep you out of trouble. But sometimes we need a reminder. So I have a video for you. This is something that popped up on social media this week. Watch this one.
What kind of gun is it?
It is a 9mm.
You mind taking it out and showing it to me?
Yes, of course. I have it in my safety holder. Safety is on. Got the 9mm. And I have the home invasion bullets. They enter and do not exit.
Okay, all right.
And it sits right in there with the safety on, one in the chamber and ready to go at all times.
So what do you think about the incident from last night? Were you surprised by that?
I was really surprised by it. Honestly, I never pictured it would happen in here. And I talked with another neighbor, and she said that this was the first time that it had ever happened in 15 years that she's ever heard of anything happening like.
Whoo! No. All right. Let's talk about a few things here. Obviously, don't point the gun at yourself or anybody else. That's a good rule. So, also, when people are asking you about what you carry or do you carry, some of those things, I think sometimes people are tempted to show it, show and tell, wherever you're carrying it, right? They're tempted to show and tell it and want to show off what they're doing. Leave the gun in the holster. Don't mess with it. The gun in the holster is a very safe place for a gun. Now, if you're going to take it out, perhaps don't point the gun right at your stomach or anyone else. Dear God. That's a case of someone who probably has no training, has never been to a pistol class. And this is why I always say, look, I don't think it should be required, but I really think anybody who's going to have a gun for personal protection or carry a gun, I encourage you to go take a class. I mean, are you good at golf the first time you pick up a golf club? Probably not. So even if you went to take, a day, a whole day, 2 days, you'd be better. But Lord have mercy, that just gives me the chills every time. I'm looking at some of the comments here. Frank, if you won, KJ will be getting in touch with you, or maybe he already has. And KJ is out of the office this week. We're about to do a little interview with him. So we sent KJ and some of the Gun Talk team to Oklahoma this week to do some filming with Bushnell, Matt Rice from Bushnell Optics, and also using the 224 Valkyrie. We're working with the guys from Federal Ammunition. 224 Valkyrie is just a very cool cartridge. That's, sometimes cool cartridges are just kind of that. They're just kind of cool. But this one's gaining some legs because it has a lot of uses. And so they are out there in Oklahoma. They're having an interesting little snake safari /pig /coyote thing. So I talked to them earlier today. Give a listen. We're going to send it all the way to Oklahoma. We're talking with Kevin Jarnagin, a.k.a. KJ from Team Gun Talk, and Matt Rice from Bushnell Optics. Hey, guys, how's it going?
Good, Ron. How you doing, man?
Good. So you guys are doing like the Oklahoma Grand Slam this week. We sent the crew out there to film and hunt and test some gear. So tell us, how's it going? How's the hunt going?
It's interesting. We've had a little bit of every type of weather you could. The first day we arrived, we were out filming and filming some conservation pieces about coyote hunting, because that's what we're out here doing. Well, that quickly turned into a rattlesnake hunt.
Is that just because it warmed up?
Oh, it's because it warmed up. They're out there sunning themselves, and it's right in a prime spot where we usually turkey hunt. And, a lot of grandkids of the farmers go out there and they play out there, and, he wants them out. He wants them gone. But then it turned into a hunting trip when Matt got here, and it escalated from there, let's say.
Well, okay, so how do you go about hunting rattlesnakes? You have, put out some rattlesnake feed, put on your rattlesnake collar.
You put on your rattlesnake boots and you walk softly.
Yeah.
And you're just peeking over edges and looking and really trying to find it. Actually, one little funny story is, one of our editors, Jace, was walking. We had just shot one, and he's just walking up ahead a little bit. He looks down, and maybe 2 feet from him, a rattlesnake lights up and is ready to strike. And
whoa.
Yeah, I mean, it was close.
So what are you shooting them with?
Oddly enough, just an old beat up Mossberg 410 pump.
Yeah, perfect. Oh my Lord.
But from there, we transitioned pretty quickly to coyote hunting, and Matt and I have been hunting coyotes for years together down here, and there's never a shortage of coyotes. And the first morning, man, I guess it's kind of like when you catch a fish on the first cast. Our first set, we go out and we call a dog in, and he decides really quickly that he's not a fan of something there, so he goes to leave. Well, I pop off a shot, and I hit him a little bit high. We were unfortunately didn't recover him, but he's laid up somewhere. He's probably mad at me now.
So the coyotes aren't cooperating, and you said the weather took a turn for the worse, and now you're having to change tactics?
Yeah, I think we've gone from one extreme to the other. It was 65 degrees on my way driving down from Kansas, and then as soon as we got here, it was a bright, sunshiny day, and now today we've had snow, we've had sleet, we've had high winds, just complete polar opposites. So our strategy this afternoon, as far as the coyotes are concerned, first we had to get warmed up and get some lunch in us, and so we'd be ready to go for the afternoon. But I think we're going to try to transition a little bit more from the open fields and get down in some of the thicker things. Unfortunately, this part of Oklahoma, there's not a lot of thick cover. It is open, kind of grass, sage, kind of high desert, if you will. So, but there are a couple places where there's some wind lines, some stuff that's been planted. The farmers do purposely to help with the wind erosion. And we're probably going to try to hit up a couple of those places. And under the suspicion, those coyotes are doing the same thing we're doing. They're going, there's no reason to be out here trying to fight a 50-mile-an-hour wind.
Yeah, there's no place to hide out there, but you're trying to go find a place to hide. Now, I mean, it's kind of one of those, you can take it what they give you. So, but you ran into some hogs too, right?
We had
almost literally ran into some hogs.
Yes, literally they tried to run into Matt. I think they were going on the offensive with Matt. We heard hogs when we were calling, because I thought it was an odd deal that Matt was playing a hog distress call and a rabbit distress call. Calling coyotes. I was like, that's kind of odd. Did he see a hog? I was confused, and after the fact,
I'm very talented. I can do two sounds. I can do two sounds out of my mouth at the same time.
That's awesome.
Something I've been practicing for a while.
No, that's not. And I asked him about it. And he goes, "That wasn't me." And I was like, "Well, they were close." So we kind of switched it up, because with weather conditions just deteriorating quickly, we went on the lookout for some hogs. Well, what we ended up finding, we crested this hill, and I kind of explain it like, you put a firecracker in an ant bed, it goes off, and then they just scatter everywhere, and there's hundreds of them. Well,
hundreds.
Well,
tomorrow it'll be 200.
Right? When you start getting 4 legs, you get up to 100 pretty quick.
But I kid you not, there had to have been at least 60 hogs in this group, and they were in the mesquite trees, and that's when we started blasting away. You take the shots you're given, you maintain safety, obviously, because when Matt and I are separated, we start communicating. We start yelling out where we're at. Matt, coming over to your left. Okay, KJ, moving right. We start using our verbal communications when something like that goes down, because you're firing. You're getting as many of them as you can.
Yeah. Well, and something we talked about even before you headed out there is you're using the 224 Valkyrie from Federal, and we have these 90 grain loads, which are maybe a little heavy for coyotes, but 90 grains, we said even before you head out there, if you see hogs, that might do the trick. So that worked okay?
Oh, yeah, I think it did. I think it did more than worked okay. It pretty much dropped everything exactly where it was. Pretty much a one shot, one kill. So I was extremely impressed with it. And then I got lucky enough to pull off one pretty good running shot at a distance. I don't know, might have been getting close to 100 the way he was booking it. And first shot held as you probably traditionally would with another round, a little out in front. And that was about where I hit, was just right out in front of him. So I go, well, don't need to do that. So the second shot, just put the crosshair right on him and then rolled him down the side of the ravine. So
nice.
It's a flat shooting cartridge, and it is more than capable of handling pretty much anything out here in Oklahoma. I wouldn't mind coming back out here on a deer population hunt, because maybe a little doe deprivation, because we've seen a bunch of those this week, that's for sure.
Yeah, that'd be perfect for that. Now, you guys said that the weather turned pretty bad this morning. Snow, sleet, rain, a little bit of everything. I mean, Matt, we were talking about optics, and optics are glass, and we want them to stand up to this. How have they been doing? The optics have been doing.
Oh, they've been awesome. I wish the reading glasses or my vision glasses were coated in the same thing that we put on our optics, because I've been wiping sweat and water and moisture and fog, and every time I look through the scope or raise the binos, it's just crystal clear. And I'm sure a lot of the people that listen to your guys' show are familiar with Rain Guard. Bushnell really kind of came out with that, and as far as a patented process, well, these last couple of years, we've introduced Exo Barrier, which is really just a step above, and we've certainly put it through the test out here. Some of the photos and some of the pictures we've been throwing up on Instagram, you can just look at the lenses, and you're like, there's no way you can see out of those, but it hasn't been hampering, optical clarity in the least bit.
Yeah,
well, that's important.
I think, as tough as these optics are that we're using right now, I think the one thing that really impressed me was actually last night. The weather wasn't as bad. But the light was fading quickly. Our cameras couldn't, film anymore, and my eyesight was fading pretty fast too. But I could still look through those optics and see. I mean, it seemed like it added 10 minutes to my hunt.
Well, and sometimes that's the most important 10 minutes.
Exactly.
Yep, it certainly is. So, I mean, that's just the whole thing. I mean, our team is a bunch of passionate users, whether they're hunters, whether they're PRS shooters, from the engineering team to the product managers to, guys like myself that get to work on the marketing side. Everybody enjoys doing this. So we want to build an optic that's going to surpass your expectations. And then to the durability standpoint, we know when you're out here enjoying these things, whatever it is you want to do, nobody wants to be worried about whether their equipment's going to fail or having to, carefully take your optic and, put it back in the truck or, wipe it off in between sets. I mean, you don't want to think about those things. And with Bushnell, that's one of the things we really take a lot of pride in, knowing that people are going to be abusive. They're going to treat them rough. And we know that we can more than handle anything you can throw at them. So
that's awesome. Well, we like to get out there and test stuff and see if it really works like it's supposed to work. You guys thaw out and go get them this afternoon.
We'll do our best.
All right, thanks, guys. Well, they're having fun out there in some tough conditions, and sometimes you just kind of take what the weather gives you and what the animals give you. So hogs, coyotes, snakes, pretty fun. When we get stuff in and we take it to the range or we try it out, at the studio and just kind of try out whether it's a gun or optics or whatever, it's one thing. But getting out into the field like that in those conditions for several days is really a good test of the gear. And I always like doing that because not only do we learn more about the gear and what, how it works or if it really does work like they claim it does. And I think most of the time it does, but sometimes you learn some things, and sometimes when you're with the reps from companies, they learn stuff too, like, oh man, we could make an adjustment here and make it even better or whatever. Or they could see if it's, it is holding up in these conditions or we need to improve this or whatever it is. So it's always good to get out there and test it, in the environment, whether that's a self-defense gun at the range or a ammo testing into ballistics and seeing if it does what it's supposed to do. That's what we're trying to do for you guys, because I know like you got a day job probably and you don't get to do that all the time. So, stay tuned for more of that type of stuff from Gun Talk. What are your thoughts on all this? Talking about coyote hunting, good time of year for that before it starts getting really warmed up. Any thoughts on the gun safety stuff we talked about? You have any good stories of either bad gun safety, bad gun handling, or good gun handling that surprised you? Comment in there. This will be up for eternity, and we'll be monitoring and chiming in. But that's kind of what's going on here at Gun Talk. So if you want to win that Brownells carbine, go to guntalk.com/win and sign up, and you could be the one winning that gun. But thanks for watching, you guys. Get out there this weekend. Hey, The +1 movement. Take someone out to the range. Even if it's just going shooting 22s for an hour, try to find someone who's new to guns maybe. Take them out to the range, introduce them the right way. We'll get more people to become gun owners, shooters, hunters, get them on our side. Thanks for watching.